Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. In today's most important news, the first story we present to you is from the United Kingdom, where Imran Khan's son, Qasim Khan, posted a tweet or message stating that it has been over 700 days since his respected father, Imran Khan, has been in jail. His access to his doctors has been blocked, and for several months his doctors have not been allowed to meet him. Additionally, his communication with his sons, including Qasim Khan and his other brother, Salman, has also been severed. For several months, they have not been allowed to communicate with him. Even members of Imran Khan's family are not permitted to meet him, nor are his close friends and supporters. Now, even his meetings with lawyers have been restricted. He has been isolated, and all his legal rights have been taken away. Qasim Khan posted this message and expressed that this is not justice, but rather an attempt to break a person who is unwilling to compromise on democracy and the rule of law in Pakistan. All of this is being done to break his resolve and force him to compromise on his principles. He further emphasized that Imran Khan will never compromise on democracy or make any deals. This message has gained significant resonance worldwide. Prominent international media voices, including Piers Morgan, have retweeted and responded to it. I believe Qasim Khan and his brother should raise their father's case more frequently and forcefully. The more voices there are in this regard, the better. All Pakistanis, whether they are directly related to Imran Khan or not, should raise their voices for him. The reason for this is clear. Imran Khan is not fighting a personal battle. It is not about property disputes with General Asim Munir. There is no personal vendetta. If that were the case, Imran Khan could easily negotiate like Nawaz Sharif did, leave the country for a while, and return to politics when allowed. But Imran Khan is not making any deals with the military, which is why he is facing severe pressure. On the other hand, Imran Khan has called for protests after Ashura. Let's see how things unfold in the next couple of days. Once the preparations are made public, we will get an idea of how significant the movement is and whether it will lead to any tangible results. The next story comes from the United States, specifically Washington, D.C. According to an internal report from the BBC, during a meeting between President Trump and the Field Marshal, the topic of dogs and cats came up. Yes, you heard correctly, the BBC did not use these exact words, but the meaning is clear. The report reveals that during the meeting, discussions were held about the trade volume and trade deficit between Pakistan and the United States. Specifically, it was about the food for dogs and cats which Pakistan imports from the United States, and there were tax exemptions granted on these items. This included products like certain cheeses, dried milk, chocolates, and other such goods, which are imported from the United States. If this deal does not go through, Pakistan will face a 29% tax on these items. Other countries, such as Bangladesh, Japan and South Korea, have already accepted these taxes, and China is still negotiating. The main point is that these taxes are being waived for imported goods primarily used by the elite, such as luxury vehicles like Lexus and others, which are exempted from significant tax reductions. Meanwhile, taxes on smaller cars for the lower middle class have been increased. This policy is seen as benefiting the rich and putting more strain on the poor, though officials argue this is in the national interest. Next, we have a story from the Islamabad High Court. There are 6 judges who were threatened by the ISI and MI. Their homes were surveilled with cameras, and their relatives were kidnapped and threatened with dire consequences if they did not decide according to the authorities' wishes. The judges wrote a formal letter revealing these threats to the public, but the Chief Justice at the time, Qazi Faiz Issa, did not take any action on their complaints. The case has not been addressed till now. Furthermore, a new Chief Justice was appointed to the Islamabad High Court, Justice Sarfraz Dogar, who was brought in from Lahore High Court. However, even with this change, the judges still face intimidation. Reports now suggest that a reference is being prepared to remove these 6 judges from their posts, as their decisions are not acceptable to the powers that be. In relation to this, Chaudhry Aizaz Ahsan expressed deep regret over the current Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Yahya Afridi. He stated that the Chief Justice is acting like a civil judge or magistrate, not a Chief Justice of Pakistan. He criticized him for lacking the authority to act and said that his actions are bringing disgrace to the judiciary. When we consider this and the actions being taken against the 6 judges, it becomes clear that the establishment is trying to silence those who oppose its control, even within the judiciary. The next story is from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or KP, where the Mines and Minerals Bill, which was really important for the province, was delayed due to political disagreements. The bill was considered crucial by the provincial government, but many, including Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf members, opposed it, arguing that it was a sellout of Pakistan's sovereignty, democracy and Imran Khan's struggle. The bill was blocked, and now the federal government has decided to bypass the provincial government by taking control of FATA, which has now been merged with KP. The government plans to extract resources from the region and undermine the provincial authority, creating tensions with the local population. This move is being seen as a way to sideline the KP government's control over its natural resources. This political struggle has led to significant resistance in the province, as people see this as an attempt to strip them of their rights. The news is that Khawaja Asif, who is Pakistan's Defence Minister for Form 47, has made a very serious and harsh allegation against Ali Amin Gandapur, who is the Chief Minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. He accused Gandapur of doing excessive sycophancy towards military generals. Now, the accusation he made was that, "I swear, Gandapur does so much sycophancy of the military and generals that even Shahbaz Sharif and the other 3 chief ministers don't do it." He further added that Gandapur brings a full truck of butter and is constantly flattering the generals, maintaining the best of relations with them. When we talk about the military, it should always be kept in mind that not all branches or members of the military are involved in such acts, nor can they or should they intervene in such matters. When the military receives orders from the top, it follows a strict discipline. Therefore, when we talk about the military, we are not referring to the entire institution, but to certain people at the top. Good people give good orders, and bad orders result in bad actions. So, when we discuss this, we are referring to certain individuals like Field Marshal and those sitting with him. Khawaja Asif claimed that Gandapur has far better relationships with the military generals than Shahbaz Sharif or the other chief ministers. He says that Gandapur acts excessively sycophantic towards the generals and maintains excellent relationships with them. In response, Muhammad Malik asked, "Why is he saying that our relations are bad in public, while in private he's praising them? Is this a kind of hypocrisy?" This raised the question whether Gandapur is deliberately giving such harsh and violent statements when protests are called by Imran Khan. Such statements include the use of weapons and firing bullets, providing the government with an excuse to act harshly by accusing them of inciting violence. Muhammad Malik then wondered if Gandapur intentionally made such violent statements to give the government and the establishment a justification for harsh actions. Khawaja Asif's accusations against Gandapur were extremely serious, and his comments were that inside, these generals are getting excessive flattery from Gandapur, more so than from any other chief minister. I can't comment on whether these things really happened, or if Gandapur is indeed this sycophantic, or if Khawaja Asif is lying. Therefore, I will leave it for you to form your opinion on the matter. However, I would advise Gandapur to refute these allegations made by Khawaja Asif. He should hold a press conference and give a strong, direct response to these serious charges and clarify that he is not indulging in any such behavior. The next piece of news is about Mariam Nawaz, who had a special traffic ticket issued for her son. Yes, a special ticket was issued for her son in Lahore. The interesting thing here is that when these people do something for image building or simply to promote themselves, they elevate themselves to such a level that they seem untouchable. The ticket wasn't issued for her son directly, but for her security guard's vehicle. But as soon as the ticket was issued, Mariam Nawaz congratulated the police on TV and promoted it, telling everyone that her son's ticket had been issued, and she praised the police for it. Later, it was revealed that it wasn't actually her son's ticket, but her guard's vehicle that was fined. Yet Mariam Nawaz used this for political mileage, announcing it as her son's fine and promoting it on TV as if it were a big deal. People had realized that no one would dare stop her son. If anyone did, Mariam Nawaz would tear them apart. But they think people are naive, not realizing that in the past, such news would be hidden or distorted by fake newspapers. Now, with social media, everything is revealed immediately, and this news was debunked, showing it was not her son, but her security guard who had been fined. The next story comes from the national and provincial assemblies, where salaries have increased. The members of these assemblies, both in the provincial and national assemblies, are receiving higher pay. There's also an interesting development about the decision to reinstate members who had been de-seated due to specific seats, and now they are being re-sworn in. The decision has been made that these members will be paid the salaries for the months or years they were absent from the assemblies, even though they did not perform any duties during that time. Yes, you heard it right. These members will be given salaries, including the recent hike in their pay. This shows that these members, who weren't even supposed to have these seats, will now benefit from this raise in salaries, even after being removed by the Supreme Court. The members who were unseated by the court are now reinstated, and they will be paid for the time they were absent. On one hand, there is the reality of the poor in Pakistan, and on the other, there is the reality of the elites. This is the Pakistan they live in, where the poor don't even matter. The next news is from Punjab, where government hospitals were outsourced. Remember that the health card was discontinued in Punjab, and it was decided that the government hospitals would be privatised and given to private parties to run. Initially, 3 hospitals were outsourced in Punjab, but the news is now that all 3 hospitals are being managed by dropouts from medical colleges, though it's unfair to call them dropouts because they were never admitted to the medical colleges based on merit. Mariam Nawaz herself was admitted under a quota system, meaning she never belonged to a medical college on merit, so calling them dropouts is inaccurate. As a result of this privatisation, health cards were discontinued, hospitals were being privatised, but they couldn't run. The government has now taken the hospitals back from the private parties. In the end, it all comes back to the same thing. The poor people in Pakistan are suffering more and more. They've lost their health cards, and now even basic health services are out of reach for them. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.